Greetings, peace and blessings. Happy Monday. How are you all doing today? I am the Moon Mama and I'm happy to be back. I took yesterday to literally just rest, which I absolutely never do. And well, I don't want to say I never do that, but I rarely do it. And yesterday the sun was at 24 degrees of Pisces and my ascendant is at 24 degrees of Pisces. So I felt completely like washed out. Like I literally slept the entire day. Like I woke up and went back to sleep. And then at some point I woke up, it was 9 p.m. So I had been asleep literally all day. And then had the nerve to sleep all through the night and wake up this morning still tired, which was like, whoa. So I just really appreciate all of you who stay present with the videos and all of that because, sometimes sometimes it just happens the way it does. So today is a moon day, and today is the day governed by the moon, and the moon is at 20 degrees of Aries. But before I invite you, before I talk about that and what that is, I want to invite you to register for the Rebirthing the Authentic Self course. Now, let me say this course is a year-long course, and many of you might feel like, well, what if I've missed what if I've missed, like the first month or the second month? Everything is recorded, and it's a year, no matter when you start. So you can literally just go back and look at the old stuff and the energy is still present. So we're moving into the age of Aquarius and this class is about the age of Aquarius. So if you're interested in joining, just let me know because everything is there and you're not going to miss anything is my point. So also thank you to everyone who gives donations and to all of the readings and all that sort of stuff. I really appreciate being able to be of service to you all because I recognize, and I think many of you do, we're moving into a very new way of being. And this new way of being will require that we have a new consciousness, that we think differently. And it's important for us to begin to think outside of the old constructs. So the thing that I have been doing for myself for the last 10, 12, 20 so years is healing my belief systems. And that's what the sun in Pisces is about. It's about what do you believe? And whatever you believe is what you then take on and practice and live into. And so, the moon is the energy that governs the feminine, that governs the mother, that governs the water, that governs the reproductive systems. The moon is the power behind everything, even the sun. Like the sun gives all this light and, plants, we would die without the sun. But the moon reflects the light of the sun. So if you think of the sun as the masculine and the moon as the feminine, it's the moon that brings the life, that really makes it, because the moon governs the water, the moon governs the reproductive system, the moon governs all of these aspects of the creative experience that are unseen. And so when I say that I've been spending time healing myself, I've been spending time really understanding the feminine power and how it really works and how I, as a woman, am connected to it. This is not a gender conversation, though it can be influenced by that because of the constructs that we're in. But it doesn't matter. Really, we are all feminine and masculine, and we all have access to this mystical internal power. We just have been raised, conditioned in a culture that has us believing that the masculine, the external, is where all the power is. But really, by the time things come into the external, everything, if you think about a seed, right? You plant a seed in the earth, and you might plant that seed, one day, and then it takes 3 months for it to be able to germinate. It takes 2 years before fruit actually is bared on that tree, say for instance. And that is the feminine. All that internal back work is the feminine energy. And as women, or as women, if we choose it, we are that back force. We are the water. We are the creative power. And we live in a culture that doesn't value that. but it is the key to everything, which is why our culture is very stuck right now, because we bastardize the feminine, we over sexualize the feminine, we what do we do? We subjugate the feminine, and so it doesn't. So our power doesn't seem valuable. So we are all, looking for a man and trying to do the things that men do, because that is how we've been indoctrinated. But so I have spent this last 12 years or more really cultivating and understanding the feminine power through nature, through the cosmos, through astrology, through my own personal experiences with my family, and understanding the history of this country, like how these things all come together. I realize I'm saying a lot, right? But in that, I have been able to really understand how my feminine energy works. This internal to the external, right? How thoughts, feelings inform my ways of being that then create my material reality. And this feminine energy is the portal by which we're going to create a new experience. The feminine is the power that is going to drive us into a new way of being. And it is important that we as women who want to live in this way, so for me, the reason I started doing this was because I was like, I don't want to be thinking about how I'm going to make money. I don't want to be thinking about, how to conquer things. I don't want to be out in the world, trying to figure out how to get and how to compete. Like that energy made me crazy. It made me sad. It made me depressed. And then what I realized was that, that means I don't want to be in this 3D reality. So if I don't want to do those things, then I would believe like, then I need a husband because I need a partner to do those things. And that's one way to be with it. And there's nothing wrong with that choice. But I realized that I didn't even want to be subject to a partner. I only want to be subject to natural law, to spiritual law. And the reason I understood that about myself is because I understand my chart. And in my natal chart, I have my North Node in Aries, which means that I am not here to share power, that I'm here to be true to myself. And partnership often requires this sort of sharing of power or codependence that is not what I am here to do. So when I understood that, I started healing all of those belief systems of like, I need a man and Prince Charming and when is he coming? And I had to really go deep inside to really heal those beliefs so that I can come into my own frequency and understand who I am and how my energy works and how I can best be of service to myself and to others. And so what I'm sharing all this is because the moon today is in Aries. And Aries, and it's been there for a couple of days, and we're about to move into the spring equinox. And this is a beginning of an entirely new cycle. An entirely new cycle is starting. And this cycle is about you being really true to yourself because we are in the age of Aquarius now. And this age of Aquarius says, you've got to know yourself separate and apart from anyone else. You've got to know who you are and how you function before you can walk to anyone else and share or love or exchange or any of that. You got to know what you're giving. You got to know what you're bringing. You got to know, your shortcomings. You got to know your strengths. You got to know how your energy works, how your magic works, and we all have it. And so as we're moving, and the sun is going to be moving into Aries on the 21st of March. And we're going to start an entire, like literally this moon in Aries is, we're moving, the universe does things gently, right? It's like a little of this and a little of that, a little forward and a little back. So we've been doing that towards this new age for a while now. But when this new moon comes in Aries in a month, we are going to be really fully in our new frequency. And so I'm encouraging you today to really look at the areas in your life. Let's see what is present for me. Oh yeah, so look at the areas in your life where you are forging a new way of being, where you really are letting go of old patterns, where you are, sort of saying, I'm not going to be the old way anymore. For me, I'm really letting go of the part of me that looks for permission. That's one of the things that I learned as the feminine. Waiting on somebody, right? Like we waiting for somebody else to make the choice, waiting for somebody else to choose me, waiting on something to happen for me to feel happy, right? So that's the thing that I'm realizing, that in the feminine, I am the generator of the reality. I'm not the person that waits. I am the aspect that creates it, that says, let there be light. I am the force behind the scene that is there is the creative impulse towards life. And so I am looking at the areas in my life where I have been waiting, for somebody to give me permission, waiting for something else to happen in order for me to do this thing. And I am looking at those aspects and releasing them and letting them go. And as I do that, my power becomes more home to me, and then I can ignite it. And this is the thing about the feminine. The feminine's power is internal, right? So when we work with our power, you got to learn how to work with it. It's not an external thing like men, or people who live in the masculine. And we all have both, but the feminine is first. So you have to learn how to follow the subtle energies so that you can understand what actions to take. All right. Peace and blessings. I am the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being good while I was gone. So funny. Somebody's left a message going, left a comment going, I was wondering how long you keep this stuff up. Let me tell you, I'm in service to the divine, and whatever the divine has me doing is what I'm here to do. Because I wouldn't do this if it were not for the call on my heart. I do this because I really understand a new way for us to live our lives, to be free of this capitalistic oppressive system. And that is why I'm here doing this, to help us get our freedom through our consciousness. And it is my pleasure to do it, to be in service to the divine, to be in service to the divine, to the people of God, to the people who built this country, and help us, support us in getting free mentally, because that's where the freedom really is. So peace and blessings. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.